Now, okay, question 29. Okay, so this is the last question that we're going to be doing from this set of exercises, which is 3.11. And then we're going to move on quickly into the next section, which is equation. All right. I said to you that when you are adding or taking away fraction, the first thing that you have to do, the first thing that you should do, is to see whether you can actually simplify the fraction before you actually start doing, the operation. Okay, can we simplify that fraction? Do we have any common factor? Yes. Okay, do we have any common factor from the top? Well, it's only 3, so we don't need to do anything. Okay, but what about the bottom? Yeah, the bottom bit is the difference of 2 squared. Can you see that? Okay, so we're going to say this is the same as b plus 2 and then b minus 2. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same to the second fraction. So do we need to do anything to the top? Obviously no, okay, but we can simplify or we can factorize the bottom. So it's going to be 5 over, what is it? So it's going to be 3, and then? B minus 2. Okay, now you can see that in here we need to amplify. Okay, so we're going to have to amplify this fraction by what? I really want to have the same denominator. If I want to have the same denominator, I'm going to have to multiply this by 3 and this one.
B plus 2.
Exactly. Okay, so that is exactly what we're going to do. So if we multiply the top and the bottom by 3, then you're going to have 9 over 3b plus 2 and then b minus 2. Okay, and then we need to amplify this by b plus 2. So it's going to be 5b plus 2 and then all over 3b plus 2 b minus 2. Okay, now you can see that we have 2 identical denominators, so now we can put them together. So it's going to be 9 minus. Now in here is where we have to be careful, because in here you're going to be multiplying this, okay, which is negative 5 times b is going to be negative 5b. And then we multiply negative 5 times positive 2, so it's going to be minus 10. And then we keep the same denominator. And then we simplify the top. Okay, so that will give you 9 minus 10. So that will give you minus 1. So it's going to be minus 1 minus 5b. And again, you just copy down the denominator. All right, that's it. Okay, so that is the answer for that question. Any question from there? Are you okay? Okay, so you can see that you're going to have to make the effort to remember a lot of things. Okay, so you're going to have to remember and being able to identify, difference of 2 square, difference of 2 cube, quadratic, simple factorization, and all those things. And also you need to remember how you add fraction, how you multiply them, and so on. All right, that's it. That was everything that we need to know about chapter 1, which is basic arithmetic and algebra. Now we're going to start with equation. Okay, so if time permits, we're going to be doing equation and inequation. Okay, so can you please write this heading? Equation and inequation. Okay, we're going to say consider following expression. All right, consider the following expression, 2x plus 1. If we equate this to 0, now, if 2x plus 1 equals 0, then this expression becomes an equation. Okay, so this is a mathematical expression, but from the moment that you equate that to 0, then you have an equation. And then solving the equation is about finding the x value that will make that statement true. Sometimes, depending on the nature of the equation, you're going to have one solution, two solutions, or many solutions. In this particular case, we're going to have only one solution. Okay, you know that. And because you done equation previously, I'm going to skip a lot of the stuff that you should know, because we need to go through this very, very quickly. And then we're going to just simply solve this. Okay, so we're going to say also, we're going to say before that, then we're going to say then 2x plus 1 equals 0 is an equation. Okay. To solve the equation, to solve this equation, we need to find the x value that makes 2x plus 1 equals 0 true. And we know that the answer is going to be x equal to negative half, okay? X equal negative half. That's it. Solve the following equations. Number 1. Okay, let's say that you need to solve these 4 equations. Meaning that you're going to have to find for each one of them the x value that satisfy this equation. Okay, so this is a little bit of revision from something that you did many years ago. Okay, so you did this in year 8. Okay, so I really want to make sure that you remember. Okay? If you don't remember, well, this is the opportunity for you to pay attention and start remembering things. Okay, first one, solution. Okay, the equation says 40, take away 5 in brackets 7, take away x equal to 3x plus 1. All right. Okay, so you know that when you have bracket, you need to remove them. Okay, but you have to follow some mathematical rules. In no way that you just say, okay, you're going to remove the bracket and that's it. No. Okay, and also a typical mistake, some people, okay, they say that they start doing 40 minus 5. Okay, that would be very silly. Okay, so if you do 40 minus 5, that is not what you're supposed to do. Okay, I'm assuming that you know that very well, but just in case. Okay, so in here we're going to say 40, and then we're going to remove the bracket. So we're going to do 35 and then plus 5x. Okay, the reason why, because negative 5 times positive 7 is negative 35, and then when you multiply negative 5 times negative x is positive 5x. Okay, and as I say, I'm going to go through this very, very quickly because this is something that you should know very well. Okay, and then we have to put the x's on one side and then everything else in the other side. On the other side, so we're going to do this in our head. Okay, so we're going to say 5x minus 3x because we need to move this over the other side. So we have to do, the opposite operation. Opposite to addition is take away, so this becomes 5x minus 3x, which is 2x. Okay, so in here we have 2x. Okay, and then we need to bring, in here we have 40 minus 35. Okay, 40 minus 35, which is positive 5. And then we need to move that positive 5 over the other side and then become negative 5. So we're going to have 3 minus 5. And then we do 2x equal to negative 2, and then you divide, so the answer is going to be equal to negative 1. All right.
What about the
40
40?
minus 35, what is it?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I say that we're going to be doing a lot of things in our head, okay? Because we need to save time. Okay. The next equation. Hi, the next equation is x plus 2 over 5 equals 40. And I would say that solving this equation is much easier than the one that we just did. Okay, but just in case. All right, so we know that 5 is dividing x plus 2. So the only way that you're going to get rid of 5 is by multiplication. Okay, so we're going to multiply this side by 5 and this side by 5. When you multiply this side by 5, then you don't have 5 anymore. Okay, so you're going to have simply x plus 2, but then you have to multiply the other side by 5. So it's going to be, what is it? 5 times 40? 200. Okay, and then we take away 2 from left side, so it's going to be 200 minus 2, so it's 198. Okay, so that is the answer for question 2. All right, next, when we have a question like this, I think that the best thing to do is to make everything look like a fraction. Okay, so we're going to make 3 looks like a fraction by putting 3 over 1. All right, so we're going to put 3 over 1. And then what we are going to do, we're going to find the highest, the lowest common denominator between 3, 1, and 2. What is the lowest common denominator between 3, 1, and 2? 6. Okay? Okay, so that is the lowest common denominator because 3 go into 6, 1 go into 6, and 2 goes into 6. Okay? And then what we used to do is to divide. So we're going to do 6 divided by 3 is 2. All right? And then we're going to multiply the answer by the top line. Okay, so 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then we're going to multiply the top line by 2. And from the moment that you do that, then you don't have that fraction anymore. That's how you eliminate fractions. And then for this one, so this is going to be 6 divided by 1 is 6 times 3 is 18. So we're going to put that straight away. And finally, we do 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and then we multiply 3 by x. So it's going to be minus 3x. Okay, so when you do, okay, when you use the lowest common denominator, then you can get rid of all the fraction in one go. Okay, let's see what we did. Okay, what we did, we said, okay, what is the lowest common denominator between 3, 1, and 2? Okay, and the lowest number that will contain 3, 1, and 2 is 6. Okay, there are many more. Okay, so you can say 12, you can say many, many, or 48, I don't know. Okay, but the lowest one is 6. And then we say 6 divided by 3, the answer is 2, and then you multiply that by the top line. And then we move on to the next one. So you say 6 divided by 1 is 6, and then you multiply that by 3. In the same way, we divide 6 by 2, which is 3, and then you multiply that by the top line. That's it. Now, can you see that we don't have fraction anymore? Okay, that's how you get rid of all fraction. And then we're going to remove the bracket. Okay, so that will give you 6x plus 8 is equal to 18 minus 3x. And then we're going to put the x together on your left, and we're going to move this 8 to the right. Okay, so if you put this negative 3x together with this, then you have to add it. So it's going to be 9x is equal to, and then I'm going to bring this 8 over to your right. So it's going to be 18 minus 8, which is 10. So therefore, x is going to be equal to 10 on 9. All right, that's it. Okay, so we have to do one more equation. All right, so I'm going to copy this question here again on the top. All right, to do this question, we can do this in actually many different ways. But one way of doing this equation is I really want to get rid of this denominator, and I really want to get rid of this denominator. Okay, that is what I really want to do. So I really want to do what basically I did on the other side. In this case, the lowest common denominator is going to be the multiplication of these two binomials. So we're going to put the lowest common denominator is x plus 2, x plus 6. Okay, now see what's going to happen. And then I'm going to show you another way. Maybe you can understand the other way better. I don't know. Okay, now we're going to multiply this. Okay, we're going to multiply this by this fraction. Okay, so we're going to multiply these two factors by this fraction. When you multiply this by this, can you see that you're going to be able to cancel the x plus 2? I'm going to write it down, otherwise I can see that, it's hard to see. Okay, let's do the multiplication. I'm going to multiply this fraction by x plus 2, x plus 6. And I'm going to multiply this by the same thing. So I'm going to multiply 4 over x plus 6 by x plus 2, x plus 6. And then I'm going to multiply 1 by this. So on the other side, we're going to have x plus 2, x plus 6. Okay. In the future, you need to do this in your head. Okay, so you're gonna have to exercise your mathematical skill in your head. Okay, now see what happened. So if you multiply this fraction by this, we can get rid of this, and we can get rid of that. Can you see that? Okay, and then what is left? Then we have x in bracket x plus 6. That's it. We don't have any fraction anymore. And then we do exactly the same to the second one. Okay, so in here we can get rid of this and get rid of that. Okay, and then what is left? 4x plus 2. And then on the other side, well, in here we're going to have to expand the bracket, and then we're going to have to remove the bracket from here, collect like terms, and simplify. All right, so here we go. Let's expand this. So that will give you x times x is x squared, and then x times 6 is 6x, and then 2 times x is 2x, and then finally 2 times 6 is 12. All right, and then let's see what happened on the other side. On the other side, we're going to have x squared plus 6x plus 4x plus 8. Okay, so x times 8 is x squared, x times 6 is 6x, 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and then we have x squared plus 6x plus 2x plus 12. All right, all what I did is just to expand this bracket, and when you expand this bracket, then you have that answer. When you expand this bracket, that will give you this answer. And then when you multiply these two, okay, so you're going to have this, all right? You okay? Question?
Yeah, I don't understand at all. Yeah.
Okay, so
No, I just don't understand the equals after the equal.
after the equal? All right, okay. What happened is this. Remember that I said that I have to multiply this fraction by this, and then I have to multiply this fraction by this, but also I need to multiply 1 by this.
Oh,
Okay, that's why you have this in here and then equal, and then when you multiply this by 1, that will give you this.
yeah.
Okay. All right, and then you can see that we have x squared on both sides. Can you see that? Can you see that we have x squared in here and then x squared in here? So we can get rid of them. Okay, get rid of them. And then we're going to put the x's together. So in here we got 6 plus 4, we have 10x. So we have 10x. And then plus 8. And then on the other side, we have how many x's? 8. So we have 8x. And then plus 12. Okay, so in here we have, okay, first of all, we got rid of this x squared because we have x squared on both sides. And then we simplify this. That will give you 10x. And then we simplify this, which is 8x. And then in here we have 8, and in here we have 12. So now we're going to put the x's together. So to put the x's together, we have to move this positive 8x to the left. And when you do that, then you're going to have 10x minus 8x, which is 2x. And then we need to put these two numbers together. So we're going to have to do 12, take away 8, which is 4. And then finally, we divide by 2, so then x is equal to 2. All right. Okay, so this is a little bit more challenging than this question, but equally doable. At this level of mathematics in year 11, you should be able to do this. Okay, you should be able to do this. If you believe that you need a little bit more practice, then you're going to have to come and see me anytime, and then I'm going to show you more questions. Or you can go to some of your favorite places. You can go to YouTube. You can get a lot of examples from everywhere. Plus, that are going to be uploading anyway this lesson, so you can watch it over and over and over again until you fully understand. Okay, next. Before we do inequalities, okay, before we do the inequalities, we are going to do something that we call absolute value. By the way, now you should be able to do exercise 4.1. So write it down. Exercise 4.1. And 4.2. Okay, in there are a lot of very easy or simple equation. So if you reckon that, and you don't need to spend too much time in the easy one, then you skip some of them. But then there are questions like the one that we just did. Okay, and that are the question that you need to exercise a little bit more.
From the Jones and Cashman.
Yes. Okay, from the Jones and Cashman.
Jones and Cashman topic 2.
Chapter 4, page 43.
It's still be in topic 1.
Yeah. No, it's still in topic 1. Still topic 1.
4.14.
All right. Okay, so the next heading is absolute value. Definition.